Hello students, welcome back. In our previous lecture, we had discussed about different organic manures like bulk organic manure, concentrated organic manure. If you have not gone through, please check it out. Today we are going to discuss about fertilizer, different types of fertilizer, nitrogenous fertilizer, phosphatic fertilizer, potassium fertilizer, about different terminology of fertilizer like fertilizer grade, fertilizer ratio, uh, uh, low analysis fertilizer, high analysis fertilizer, then water soluble fertilizer, water insoluble fertilizer, about different fertilizers, how it is needed to be applied, when to apply the fertilizer, what are the methods of application of fertilizer, what are the way we can judge the fertility status and we need to apply the fertilizer. Everything we are going to discuss in this particular lecture. So stay tuned till the end because so many questions are coming in competitive exam from this particular part about fertilizer, to understand the fertilizer and to understand different types of fertilizer, right? Let's dive into the topic. So fertilizer, what is fertilizer? Basically we use fertilizer for feeding the plant, okay, if the soil is depleted with certain nutrient, right? So fertilizer are nothing but industrially manufactured chemical containing plant nutrients. So what is a fertilizer? If someone is asking you what is a fertilizer, so you should answer in this way, like these are industrially manufactured chemical which contains plant nutrients, okay. Nutrient content in fertilizer is higher than any other organic manure, okay. Any other organic manure, fertilizer contains higher amount of nutrient, and its release is instant, okay. So organic matter, when we are adding the soil, that release takes time, okay. Maybe weeks, months, okay, it takes time. But fertilizer, the release is quicker because it is already present in inorganic form in the nutrient, so it can easily go to the soil solution phase to supply that nutrient to the plant root, okay. Now if we'll classify the fertilizer, there are different types of fertilizer classification. We'll cover one by one based on the nutrient content, means the number of nutrients the fertilizer contains. The fertilizer can be classified as straight fertilizer, complex fertilizer and mixed fertilizer. Based on the nutrient content, nutrient element content, the fertilizer can be straight fertilizer, complex fertilizer and mixed fertilizer. What do you mean by straight fertilizer? Straight fertilizer is that fertilizer that supply only one primary nutrient. If the fertilizer is supplying only one primary macronutrient, then that is called straight fertilizer. What are the primary nutrients? Primary nutrients are, we have already covered N, P and K. If any fertilizer is supplying only one among them, then that is a straight fertilizer. For example, urea. Urea supplies nitrogen 46%, SSP supplies 16% P2O5 and MOP supplies 60% K2O. So these are examples of straight fertilizer. Then complex fertilizer. Complex fertilizer, those fertilizer which contain two or more than two primary nutrient, okay, in chemical form. So if we're talking about DAP, MAP, both contains nitrogen and phosphorus, so they are called complex fertilizer. Now mixed fertilizer, so this is not manufactured in mixed, I mean two or having two or more nutrient, but it is the physical mixture of two or more straight fertilizer or complex fertilizer. It is physical mixture, so that is mixing of fertilizer, physically mixing of fertilizer, that is called mixed fertilizer, right? Next one is, what is the primary nutrient content of the fertilizer? Based on that, fertilizers are of two types. One is low analysis fertilizer and high analysis fertilizer. So basically it depicts the concentration of nutrient present in a fertilizer. So if the total primary nutrient, primary macronutrient, if the total primary macronutrient content of the fertilizer is less than 25%, then that is called low analysis fertilizer. If the total primary macronutrient content in a fertilizer is more than 25%, then that is called high analysis fertilizer. So what are the examples of low analysis fertilizer? You can say SSP, single superphosphate. What is the nutrient content? Nitrogen 0%, phosphorus 16%, potassium 0%, so total add on 16%. So that is one example of low analysis fertilizer. Then again sodium nitrate 13 to 15% nitrogen and nothing else. So that is a low analysis fertilizer. Then high analysis fertilizer, if the macronutrient or primary macronutrient content, the summation of primary macronutrient content it is more than 25%, then that is called high analysis fertilizer. What will be the example? Urea, MOP, DAP. These are example of high analysis fertilizer because urea contains 46% nitrogen, MOP contains 60% potassium, DAP contains 18% nitrogen, 46% phosphorus. So in total, they contains more than 25% primary nutrient. So these are called high analysis fertilizer. Now another classification is solid fertilizer and liquid fertilizer. What are the examples of solid fertilizer? They are in powder form, again granule form, uh, so crystal form, prill form, supergranule form, briquette form. These are different form of solid fertilizer. Powder form, for example, SSP. Crystal form, ammonium sulfate. Prill form, urea, DAP. Then granular form, supergranule form, briquette form. To avoid the losses, we prepare briquette. That means larger size aggregate. Then liquid fertilizer. Uh, Basically these are clearly liquid and mostly suspended or either clear liquid or suspended form. So there are different fertilizers are available in case in liquid form like aqueous ammonia, then anhydrous ammonia which is compressed to form liquid because basically it is a gas but it is stored in liquid form. Then next one is acid forming fertilizer and basic fertilizer. So this is also coming in exam, so you have to remember this. Okay, equivalent acidity and equivalent basicity of different fertilizers. So basically uh, when we are applying nitrogen or nitrogenous fertilizer, we mostly uh, take care of it because other form of fertilizer like potassic phosphatic fertilizer they do not form any significant acidic residue or basic residue in the soil. So what is acidic fertilizer or equivalent acidity? So the quantity of, I mean, calcium carbonate that is required to apply to neutralize the acid formed by the particular fertilizer. So that is acid equivalent or equivalent acidity. So for example, anhydrous ammonia, the highest equivalent acidity by anhydrous ammonia that is 148, ammonium chloride 128. What does it mean? So if we are applying 100 kg ammonium chloride, whatever acidity it will produce, we need to apply 100 kg of I mean 128 kg of calcium carbonate to or lime to neutralize that. So that it indicates. Then ammonium sulfate, what is the equivalent acidity? 110. Ammonium sulfate nitrate 93, ammonium phosphate 86, urea 80. Okay. Now base like that, like acid forming fertilizers, some fertilizers they release basic residue. So what are those? Like sodium nitrate, equivalent basicity is 29, calcium nitrate 21, calcium cyanide 63, dicalcium phosphate 25. So the more the number of equivalent basicity, the more basic residue it leave in the soil, right? Then another is which primary nutrient the fertilizer contains. Based on that, the major primary nutrient the fertilizer contains. Based on that, the fertilizers are nitrogenous fertilizer, phosphatic fertilizer, and potassic fertilizer. Again, nitrogenous fertilizers are grouped into amide form, nitrate form, ammoniacal form, and nitrate plus ammoniacal form. Phosphatic fertilizer again classified into water soluble phosphatic fertilizer, citric acid soluble phosphatic fertilizer, citrate insoluble phosphatic fertilizer. Potassic fertilizer like that, it is a two broad type. One is chloride form, non-chloride form. So these are some of the few classifications of different fertilizers. Now what is fertilizer grade? Fertilizer grade is basically the guaranteed minimum percentage of N, P2O5 and K2O in a fertilizer. So guaranteed minimum percentage of nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium in a fertilizer, that is called fertilizer grade. For example, DAP. What is the fertilizer grade? 18460. It means DAP 100 kg DAP if we are taking, then 18 kg nitrogen will get, 46 kg P25 will get, and 0 kg K2O will get. So that is the fertilizer grade of DAP. Okay. Now, uh, today we have discussed these different types of fertilizer. In the next class, we'll go through different fertilizer. I mean nitrogenous fertilizer, then Phosphate fertilizer will discuss, then potassium fertilizer will discuss, then some biofertilizer will also discuss. So if you have any doubt from this fertilizer classification part or any part of the agronomy, you can let me know in the comment section. Till then, keep reading, keep signing.